Welcome to our countdown of the 10 most dangerous cities in America. Buckle up because this ride is going to be wild. We're about to dive headfirst into a statistical hellscape of murder, mayhem, and cities that make you say, wait, people actually live there? Look, I'm not saying these places are all bad. I'm sure they have lovely botanical gardens, charming cafes, and maybe even a thriving artisanal mayonnaise scene. But they also have, statistically speaking, a higher chance of you becoming unwilling participant in a local true crime podcast. So whether you're planning a cross-country road trip or just enjoy a good dose of morbid curiosity, this video is for you. Let's just say, after watching this, you might want to invest in a personal panic room and maybe a whole bunch of those little travel-sized hand sanitizers, for your soul. Detroit, once a symbol of American industrial might, now a city that's a bit more, let's say, economically challenged. And by economically challenged, I mean it has a higher poverty rate than a Walmart employee's Christmas bonus. But hey, poverty doesn't always equal crime, right? Well, in Detroit, it kind of does. With a violent crime rate more than 5 times the national average, it's safer to walk through a lion enclosure wearing a meat suit than it is to stroll through certain Detroit neighborhoods at night. And don't even think about leaving your car unlocked for a second. You're more likely to find it stripped down to its bare chassis than you are to find a parking spot in this town. So yeah, Detroit. Come for the history, stay, because you can't afford to leave. Next up, we have St. Louis, a city known for its iconic arch and its even more iconic crime rate. Seriously, this city has more crime than a season of Law and Order and with less attractive actors. St. Louis has the unfortunate honor of having one of the highest murder rates in the country. It's so high, it's practically a tourist attraction. Come see the Gateway Arch, visit the zoo, and oh yeah, maybe witness a drive-by shooting. Fun for the whole family. But hey, at least the Cardinals are good, right? Well, except when they're playing at home, because even baseball fans are too scared to go to the games. So if you're ever in St. Louis, remember, don't wear any flashy jewelry, don't make eye contact with anyone, and for the love of all that is holy, don't order the toasted ravioli. You've been warned. Coming in at number 3 on our tour of terror is Memphis, Tennessee, land of Elvis, BBQ, and a crime rate that'll make you say, thank you very much for leaving me alone. Memphis is a city with a rich musical history, but unfortunately, that history is often drowned out by the sound of police sirens and people screaming, "He's got a gun," with a violent crime rate that's higher than the Mississippi River during flood season. You're more likely to get mugged in Memphis than find a decent Elvis impersonator. So if you're planning a trip to Memphis, pack your pepper spray, wear a bulletproof vest, and maybe consider learning how to play the blues, just in case you need to busk for your bus fare back home. City 4. Baltimore, Charm City, more like Alarm City. Baltimore. Home to the Ravens, delicious crab cakes, and a murder rate that's higher than a giraffe's blood pressure. This city has been through a lot, from economic decline to social unrest, and unfortunately it shows. Walking the streets of Baltimore at night is like playing a real-life game of Grand Theft Auto, except the graphics are worse and the stakes are much, much higher. But hey, at least they have The Wire, right? A gritty, realistic portrayal of life in Baltimore. Except it's so realistic that watching it should probably count as community service. City number 5, New Orleans. Let's be real, it's not always Mardi Gras. New Orleans is known as the city that never sleeps because you'll be too busy dodging stray bullets. Famous for its vibrant culture, delicious food, and a crime rate that's more intoxicating than a hurricane in a glass. New Orleans is a city of contradictions. On one hand, you have the joyous revelry of Mardi Gras, the soulful sounds of jazz, and some of the best food in the world. On the other hand, you have a murder rate that's higher than the price of beads during carnival season. It's like the city is stuck in a perpetual state of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, except instead of transforming into a monster, it just transforms into a slightly more dangerous version of itself after dark. More like Can't Saz City, because you might get shot. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're headed to the Midwest, where the barbecue is smoky, the jazz is smooth, and the murder rate is downright terrifying. Kansas City, a city known for its fountains, its steaks, and its unfortunate tendency to make national news for all the wrong reasons. This is a city where you're more likely to find yourself dodging bullets than you are to find a decent parking spot during rush hour. Please don't get me started on those crazy Chiefs fans. They're passionate, they're loud, and they're known to get a little rowdy, especially after a loss, which, let's face it, happens more often than we'd like to admit. City number 7. Hold on to your butts, because we're going to Cleveland, a city that's so tough, even its river actually caught on fire. And that's not even a joke, that actually happened. Twice. Cleveland is a city of contradictions. It's home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, world-class museums, and a vibrant art scene. It's also a city with a poverty rate that's higher than LeBron James' vertical leap and a crime rate that's more depressing than a Browns game. But hey, at least they have good pierogies, right? Just make sure you bring cash, because there's a good chance the ATM you're trying to use is currently being used as a getaway vehicle. City number 8, Oakland, where even the trees are afraid of the dark. Next up, we're heading to the West Coast, to a city that's known for its beautiful scenery, its diverse population, and its unfortunate tendency to make you want to invest in a suit of armor. Oakland, California, a city that's home to the Golden State Warriors, a thriving art scene, and more hipsters than a coffee shop that only serves fair trade, single origin pour-overs. It's also a city where you're more likely to get mugged for your avocado toast than you are to find a parking spot that doesn't cost more than your rent. But hey, at least the weather's nice, right? Just make sure you don't enjoy it too much, because the second you let your guard down, someone's going to try to steal your Birkenstocks. City number 9, Stockton, where the only thing lower than the water levels is the sense of safety. Hold on to your wallets, folks, because we're headed to Stockton, California, a city that's so dangerous, even the ghosts are afraid to live there. Stockton is a city that's been hit hard by economic hardship, drought, and a crime rate that's higher than the temperature during a California wildfire. It's a city where you're more likely to find yourself in a police lineup than you are to find a decent job. But hey, at least they have, okay, I'm drawing a blank here. Moving on. City number 10, Milwaukee, more like Milwaukee, run for your life. This last city is known for its beer, its cheese, and its uncanny ability to make you want to sleep with a nightlight. Milwaukee is a city of contrasts. On one hand, you have the friendly Midwestern charm, the beautiful lakefront, and some of the best breweries in the country. On the other hand, you have a crime rate that's higher than the alcohol content of a Wisconsin old-fashioned. It's a city where you're more likely to get mugged for your cheese curds than you are to find a parking spot during a Packers game. And speaking of the Packers, let's just say that even Aaron Rodgers probably hires extra security when he's in town. And there you have it, folks. the 10 most dangerous cities in America, according to statistics that are probably more reliable than my Uncle Steve after he's had a few too many eggnogs. Thanks for watching. Remember, stay safe out there and maybe think twice before booking that trip to any of these cities. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more survival videos. Comment below. If you had experience in one of the cities, post it in the comments below. I would love to hear the story. Remember, this is just a bit of fun at the expense of some cities that are probably lovely if you visit them during the day, and bring your own personal security detail. But seriously, be careful out there, folks. The world's a crazy place.